Good afternoon. My name is Christine Toro Shields and I'm a licensed clinical social worker. And I have this opportunity to speak to you on Seeds of Faith through St. Barnabas Catholic Church, sharing mental health moments. So today I'm actually wearing my Real Conversation shirt. I'm honored to be a member of the State Board for the Indiana Foundation of Suicide Prevention. And during these pandemic times, one of the blessings is that we have more of an opportunity to talk about mental health issues at a state and national and international level. So since mental health is now at the forefront of our discussion, let's have a real conversation. So I want to share today just really specific and basic things you can do to promote your mental health. Last week we talked about building resilience, and these are some specific activities you can do to further build your resilience. I initially started working in the addiction field over 35 years ago, and there is a term that they use called HALT, which really meant for a recovering person, don't let yourself become too hungry, too angry, too lonely, or too tired. Now, I've adapted that beyond just addictions and talked about HALT being don't let yourself become too hungry, too angry, too anxious, too agitated, too lonely or tired. And I'm going to share some specifics for each one of those of what you can do to promote your ongoing mental health and wellness. Now, the word HALT actually means stop. So when you notice you're becoming any of those things, it's time to stop and do something else. So first I want to talk about hunger. One of the things that we know that's really good for mental wellness is maintaining good health, and that includes diet and nutrition. We know that protein helps stabilize the blood sugar, because when the blood sugar drops or goes too high, it can really affect people's moods. It can go up and down. So some really simple things you can do is actually put protein in your mouth every time you eat. It is recommended that people eat more like a pregnancy diet or a diabetic diet. 3 or 4 times a day, or actually 4 to 5 times a day, every 3 to 4 hours. Now, putting 8 to 10 grams of protein in your mouth may mean simply a yogurt cup or a protein bar or even an egg. One egg has about 8 grams of protein. So really being conscious about what you eat. Now, additionally, we know that water really helps us stay healthy. And some people say drink 6 to 8 glasses a day, and some other people just say make sure you're drinking at least half of your body weight. And then probably the last thing as far as diet and nutrition goes is just if you are going to drink alcohol, do so in moderation. We certainly know that alcohol is a mood enhancer. So when people are more anxious or more depressed or even angry, it can really, after that initial phase, it can really enhance that mood, and that goes against mental health and mental wellness. So next I'm going to talk about not letting yourself become too angry, too anxious, or too agitated. In these pandemic times right now, so many people are either still continually stressed or just getting more aggravated and angry about feeling like they're restrained and quarantined and having to social distance. Even so much so that you see some people protesting on, the steps of various capitals. This is an opportunity to really take care of your mood. That's one reason I wanted to come outside today. We know that exposure to green space, the way it processes in the brain, actually helps improve our mood. It can reduce the stress, but it can also lift the mood as well, depending on where you're at. Also, we just know that exercise is very good for mood. Some people journaling, or being creative, doing things with their hands. I've been doing a lot of gardening these days. So finding something to channel that mood is really, really, really critical. The other thing is not allowing yourself to become too lonely. In these pandemic times, a lot of people are talking about feeling disconnected, and we understand that. So many connections are through Zoom or other video platforms, and people are feeling connected, but feeling that presence, but also feeling that distance. So especially with restrictions easing, find ways to connect with people. Do driveway social meetups, or on the deck 6 feet apart, going on a hike with somebody, or a bike ride. Not allowing yourself to be too lonely. Also, for individuals that may be more introverted, there are meetup groups, and so see what's going on with those. Or even in our own neighborhood, we have a Nextdoor app, and my husband was able to find a group of folks who enjoyed fishing, and then making plans to do that. Finding those ways to connect. And it may also be connecting with your pets. Our pets provide a lot of companionship for us. My son lives in St. Louis and is out there by himself, and he has one cat, but he found out that the shelters were asking people to adopt pets. And so he got another one, and that his second cat, Elvis, is a lot more friendly, and so it's provided him a lot of connection. And then finally, tired. When you get exhausted, having little energy also really affects our mood. So promoting good sleep hygiene is essential. We know that if you can get your sleep regulated, sometimes that can reduce depression and anxiety up to 30 or 40%. One of my favorite sleep apps, and I don't have any personal or business ties to this, but it's called Sleeping Through the Rain. It's a hemisync program, and it really helps train your brain. It's like physical therapy for your brain to get down into delta waves, because delta waves are where we get restorative sleep, and that is critical. Setting a bedtime. A lot of people's sleep is adjusted these days because they don't have to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning. They can sleep until 8 or 10, and their hours are flexible. But making sure that you're getting a solid 7 to 8 hours of sleep is important. Some people are using melatonin, which can be beneficial in helping people fall asleep. It's a natural sleep hormone in our bodies that promotes sleep. It's that darkening effect that reminds us it's time to go to sleep. So think about those things and reach out to people and really protect your own self-care and your mental wellness. And when you're concerned about others, have a real convo. Talk to people. Don't be afraid to. If you're not sure how to open up that conversation, the AFSP website has a lot of information about real convos and just starting that. And if you're concerned about yourself, then take that extra step and let somebody know you're struggling. You're not in this alone. We aren't alone. And although some of us may feel lonely, it is an opportunity for us to connect and invest in ourselves during this time. So I want to thank you, and I hope you have a most wonderful Memorial Day weekend, and I'll see you next week. Take care.